Yeah. Here are the biggest lies about learning Korean. I'm making this video because we don't have time to fall for any of these lies. Really. Because lies steal joy from learning. You'll be surprised if any of the things that I write today in my Google Doc is secretly living here rent free. Let's really make sure we don't fall for that and feel protected, feel joyful, and feel confident and have fun about learning Korean. Can we do that? Okay, if you are, bring your notebook or little phone that you can take notes because I'll be writing down the notes of lies and then you can write down the reality. 'Cause that's not lies, right? And I'll tell you them too. So we can like bust these lies together. Okay, number one. The first lie I wrote down here on my phone too that we fall for is we need to memorize oh 10,000 words before we can speak Korean. Words are very important. I agree. Without words, we cannot speak anything. We'll be like, yeah, right? But 10,000, that's a lot. And sometimes, although you didn't see that number in your head, somewhere in our head is saying, okay, I need to like get down and really do 100 word drills a day or 50 drills a day. No, really, you don't need 10,000 words to speak Korean. My recommendation for you is probably a good 1,000. So take off 10. And I know that sounds also daunting too. But hear this out. What if you study 5 words a day? Because words are very important. And 5 is all you need when you're starting out. But if you do it consistently, what's 5 times 7? That's 35 words in a week. And what is, if you do that for a year, what is that? I wrote that down here. That's 35 times 52 because we have 52 weeks. And that is 1,820. So over 1,000. And maybe some weekends you want to take a break. And still, that will be 1,000 if you did it for a year. And some days you want to review too. So do not overwhelm with yourself with like 30 words a day and like get KO that day. No, just 5 words a day because short and then having a system, really you having fun, that's so much better. Okay, do not be scared of these tens and thousands of words before we can start to speak Korean. That's a lie. Number 2, watching, ooh, this one, you're not gonna like hearing this. Watching K drama alone will make you fluent. That is not true. I love K dramas too. Do you love them? And somewhere in our heart, we're like, oh, today I'm gonna watch 4 hours of K drama. So that's it for me studying Korean. Somehow it's gonna help me speak Korean. Probably that's a lie and your laziness speaking to you. I'm not saying K dramas are not helpful in learning Korean. That's why I wrote the word alone. K dramas are great exposure, are great input. You know, in language, you have to do both input, what you learn, what you hear, what you understand, all of that goes into your ears and your brain. And then there is something called output. This is where you sit down or talk to somebody and really start producing words through your mouth. You say things out loud. K dramas, you sit and listen. I'm talking about you talking to yourself. You looking at the mirror and like actually saying 안녕하세요. 제 이름은 블라블라입니다. 오늘 뭐 먹지? 어디 갈까? 뭐 입을까? Not reading it with your eyes, producing your sound. So, if you really want to have an effective K drama studying session, you want to pause your video every 10 seconds and shadow after each line that the actress and an actor says in the K drama. So that would be very helpful if you do both input and outputs. But alone, it's not going to make you fluent. And number three, Korean grammar is impossible. Okay, let's pause. You're like, no, it's possible, but really go deep in your heart. Maybe like 2% of that heart is believing this. That's why you sigh. That's why it's just like, too scary. You're scared of Korean grammar. When you even hear the word grammar, isn't it scary? Because we kind of associate it grammar to be complicated, impossible. Like, oh my God, as an adult, I cannot do that. But think about it. You had some of you, a lot of you actually watching this, have kids. To me, parenting is so scary, but one day I'll be a parent, right? But because I'm not there yet, when I look at my friends, when I think about raising kids myself, it's like really scary. Not that I don't want to do it. It feels impossible sometimes, but that's not true, right? If you have a right system, if you have someone that supports you, a loved one, and if you have love in your heart, like all of that, of course, will come together to help yourself. So the question is not A, is the grammar too hard? Is grammar impossible? Maybe the other question that you really want to ask is, do I have a system? Did I put aside 20 minutes a day to dedicate? Do I have that in a day? Do I really have passion towards Korean? Because passion normally gives you energy to go on, even when there's hard work, right? We say, like, when we become a mom, there's like a superpower, adrenaline, and all that comes to you, and like somehow it works, like with 2 hours sleep. So, passion is another thing that you want to ask yourself if you have it, right? So, and then system, like I already talked about it, routine, and maybe accountability partner, and a guidance, and amazing teacher around you because it's hard to learn on your own. So, having a teacher or a course really helps and saves time. So, maybe other questions that we need to ask, right? Other than it's impossible, it's complicated, I cannot do it. So, ask those questions and come back and see grammar again in new lens. Number four, what did I write here? Oh, some people believe this. You need to live in Korea to become fluent. Living in Korea, studying abroad in Korea, and traveling to Korea helps because you're now forced to speak Korean. That's like the biggest difference, right? You're going to a convenience store, they don't speak English to you, then you're forced to practice what you learn. You're forced to probably papago on the spot and then just say something, a gibberish out loud, and then it works, right? And those situations add up, and somehow you remember them because you were embarrassed more than ever. So now take a look at that situation and let's analyze it. So the reason why you improve a little faster when you live in Korea is because you're forced to speak more. You're embarrassed more forcefully because you've got no choice. If that's the reason why you just improve so much, and with of course a lot of exposure, them speaking to you too, then can we do that here too at our home? Don't make it out of force. Don't speak out of force. We don't need that. But let your passion lead you and let your system lead you. Let your discipline lead you to speak. Oh, it's like, I just want to watch K drama. No. I want you to shadow after a native speaker. Set aside 10 minutes with a timer and shadow a native speaker. Make sure you're moving your mouth and your tongue and getting that output practice. Discipline yourself so you see the results. And if you're looking for a resource, I have an amazing course that I just launched. It's the newest course that I launched called Shadowing Studio. Inside, we have 56 dialogues and monologues, and you just watch us and you shadow after us. I just thought, like, for the longest time, oh my God, there are so many students who want to speak and learn this language, but they're at home, they don't have a speaking partner. And that is not okay. That's why I launched this brand new course, and people are loving it. And this was probably, it is the biggest launch that we did. Okay, so I want you to check it out if this is your main problem, because shadowing will solve that problem, because you're gonna get used to the intonation, the rhythm, the words, and how we speak and when we pause, all of that. All right, so that's number four. And number five is fluency comes from memorizing phrases. So if you memorized 1,000 phrases, are you fluent in Korean? How long did it take you to be fluent in your language? Was it just after 1,000 phrases? I don't think so. So I'm going to tell you a sentence. This is the reality of fluency. Fluency is never about just memorization. Fluency is about training, you guys, with constant training of your ears. You listen, 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 and your brain, and you learn, 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 input and output. Constant practice of your ears, your brain, and your mouth. Like constantly doing it with people, by yourself, practice. One day you just wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, I've done enough practice and things are flowing. Their brains make connections, like it's like enough training that you are forming conversations with other people in Korean. So just remember, fluency is about training, never about memorizing only. Okay. And number six, ooh, this one I love it. I am too old to learn Korean. Some of you who are watching this video, you're at your 60s and 70s. I know that because I have students like that inside my classes and my courses. I get emails and I love and I really cherish and admire, and I love that energy coming from you, right? And some of you feel overwhelmed, and but you still want to learn Korean, and there's this mental block of I'm too old to learn Korean. I think our brains do get slower as we age, but it's not impossible because we are not cheats. It's a little humor there, but I always remind myself that unless you're a cheats, your learning has no expiration date. Until you die, you'll learn. Our brain is so cool like that. We just continue. It's like a sponge. Until you die, you learn new things and pick up new things. It's so cool. It like rewires, unlearn everything and relearn. So very cool. Don't limit yourself just believing that I'm too old to learn, because I have witnessed my students. Literally, I think the oldest one that I had in my course was 77. Yeah, and he was mastering his hunger, forming sentences with me, and speaking practice. So inspiring. So dear to my heart. When you just don't give up on things, and when you have passion, hobbies, and picking up a new language at your 70s and so cool. Continue to inspire others around you with that passion and with that learning attitude. And number seven, another lie that we might have is I need at least an hour a day to make progress. This is something I tell you a lot in my videos, but I really think and believe and have seen this in reality, that 20 minutes a day, or 30 minutes, even better, 20 to 30 minutes of focused studying is so much better than 3 hours long study sessions, and then you get distracted every like 20 minutes because our attention span, I don't know what happened. It's the culture of reels and scrolling and swiping. All of that kind of did something bad to our attention span. Um, so it's really hard to focus for 1 hour, to be honest. When I say focus, I'm talking about like focused. No distractions, no thoughts other than this thing that I'm studying is going on. Okay, so that's when I say focused. So try 20 minutes of Korean, like super focused. Put away any distractions you may have and close your door and time yourself 20 minutes daily, of course. You have to do it consistently to see progress and see if that is giving you better results than sitting 1 hour a week, right? Because that's cramming and that's called getting exhausted. That's called I'm scared to go to my desk. Like I don't want to study Korean. I don't want ever to for this passion to turn into something like an obligation. Okay? So remember that. We're almost going towards the end of these lies. And number 8, I have a bad memory. I'm laughing because I do. So I can't learn Korean. I have a bad memory. I learned Korean, English, and Chinese. So I think we all have no excuses on this. I really do. I forget everything. I'm very forgetful. I have to write down everything and then put sticky notes all over my room, or else I'll forget everything. I have like reminders and snoozes. It's kind of crazy because I'm forgetful, but I can manage to still show up here and teach and be super fun with you and then come up with tricks that you're gonna remember forever and be silly together. So, if you know that you have a bad memory, please adjust to your brain and give something fun, give something weird, because somehow if we see something weird, we remember. Like everything boring, everything black and white, everything mundane, we forget. But something shocking, something weird, something interesting, we tend to remember. So, what about you go? Please watch my recent vocabulary series videos because I showed you the weirdest trick to remember things forever because I have the same problem and I learned 3 languages, right? That means you can do it too. And I kind of use that silly, weird method to remember vocabulary forever. So, because our brains actually learn in images and stories better. Okay. So go ahead and watch that and then let me know if that helps. Being weird and being silly, it works. And of course, having a good resource like my books will help too. If you don't have my books yet, check it out because I made sure that we learn like a kindergarten kid again. I included pictures, I included audio, I included cute design because when I see those pages, somehow I want to learn. Like you know that I come from teaching 3rd grade. And we're not 3rd grade, but still, I think we learn the best that way with colors and chart and cute design and pictures for every page. So check it all out. I'll put it in the description if you need those resources. It's called the Vocabulary Power Pack. And then number 9 is I need to get my grammar perfect before I start speaking. Not true. You know, if you want to be better swimmer, what do you have to do? You have to go swim more. If you want to be a better talker, what do you have to do? You have to talk more on the stage or get more experiences on that. If you want to start speaking better in Korean, your job is not to do bunch of grammar study all day and never speak. No, that's not your job. To speak Korean, you have to speak Korean. That simple. So ask yourself, did I speak in Korean today? That's the real good question. That's a really good question to just like reflect. Did I speak Korean today? Like, how long did I speak? And then if your answer no, the second follow up question is, do I want to be better at speaking? If you answered yes, those two are kind of contradicting to each other, right? So let's kind of align them. If you want to speak Korean, let's really start speaking Korean, even when it's broken, even when you don't have grammar down, even when you even like don't have how to conjugate verbs. Start speaking a few phrases, a word you learned today. You learned like pop, 먹다, that's meal and eat. 밥 먹다, that's okay. You started still training your mouth, and somehow your broken grammar will come together as you speak and study more. But we don't have to get all our grammar perfect before we start speaking. Okay? It will come to you naturally as you study consistently, but really make sure that you get that speaking practice from day one. And number 10, this is the last one. This is a really interesting one that I figured out. More studying equals faster results. Still, this is the biggest lie, too, that I believe after studying and seeing tens and thousands of students in my courses and my classes. This was not true. Some people were studying like 5 hours, and some people were studying 1 hour, and some people were studying 20 minutes. But you know what the real reality was? I'm going to write this one down. Better studying equals faster results. So it wasn't about more studying. What if you just do more, but do it the wrong way? What if you do it more, and get exhausted and you lose passion? We don't want that. So I think better studying that works for you, that you find it fun, that you can go for longer time, meaning long run, right? Not like you do it for a month and you quit. A system that will work for you, a teacher that keeps inspiring your heart, a friend that could keep you accountable, right? A office or a little, trust me, a little notebook, a new notebook that you actually like can motivate you, because our heart is like that. We can be moved by something so small, but we have to ask ourselves right questions and be aligned with who I am too, and be honest, right? So like routines and systems and resource and teacher, all of that really come together to better studying, not just more studying equals faster results, right? So, and of course, that comes with consistency. Like if you're studying better, make sure you do it consistently too without giving up. Because when you give up, you lose. All right. And that is it for me. I just wanted to make sure that we know that some of these phrases might live in our hearts and our brain rent free. And sometimes it's here unconsciously. We thought that we're not scared of grammar. We thought that K dramas are going to be helping us with speaking. We thought that if I study 5 hours today, I'll be so much better, you know? And maybe it's something that we need to shift in our head to approach this language in better and more fun and more inspiring and smarter way. Okay, so that is it for me, you guys. I hope you enjoyed and found this video helpful. And this is just about the biggest lies. But if you want to watch other videos about my vocab or grammar, or how to make sentences or learn patterns, I have so many videos available on my channel. So make sure you check them out, and I'll see you in the next one. I love you.